Good morning. We are live. We're going to give it a minute or two and let people hop on here. Last night we had some issues, and hopefully this morning those issues will not continue. And what I'm going to do is as long as nobody's on yet, okay, we're going to see. Okay, it says we're waiting, but we are live. So this may take a second. Okay, there we are. It says we're waiting, but we are live. So this may take. There we go. Okay, good morning. Yeah, things look great this morning. I apologize for the issues we had last night. Looks like we've got them all squared away. It could have been our internet. It was kind of ugly weather out, and I've never had it happen before, so I actually just was not sure what happened. So here we go. We are going to look at Strand of Pearls this morning. And we have got our strand of pearls in a 1 inch size. Now, I also pulled out the half-inch size. They both come with 5 templates, and you will see the difference between the 1 inch and the half-inch. And I'm just going to show you a little bit of drawing that I did with it because everybody knows I like to draw it out, and some of the different ideas you can see. You can get a lot of different looks from doing this. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And I've got my piece of fabric right here. I've got a 16-point crosshair on it. And what I've done is I did put this on because I had my tag in here and set it aside. So putting this, they call it a pin mark, and it's just a little piece of silicone, and you stick your tag into it so you don't end up hurting yourself. Now, you can also use erasers. One of the gals that watches our program said she goes to the dollar store and buys erasers for eraser replacements for mechanical pencils and uses that, and it's a lot cheaper. So when I need more, that's where I'm going. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take a look. We have 5 templates here. Okay, but with those 5 templates, we get a lot of different looks because, for example, this is our 11.5 inch, which means that from here to here is half of that. It's 5 3/4. But when we go all the way around, it's going to be 11.5. And then we've got a 10.5. So that's 2 sizes. Okay. Then we have a 9.5 and a 4.5. So it's 4 sizes. I'm going to show you how this works. 8.5, 5.5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we get to the small ones. We've got a 6.5 and 7.5. That's 8 different sizes, guys. 8 different sizes in one set. I think that's a lot of bang for your buck. Okay, let's take a look at the instructions because you all know that's what I like to do. Hi there, Susie's here with us this morning. Good morning. Marcy is with us. Linda is here. Judith is here. Jan. Hey, here we go again. I hope it's better than last night. Sandy was here last night too. So Diane, good morning. Brenda was here. Sharon, Janice, good morning. Hopefully, Janice, if you could, I know you're going to be painfully honest with me, and I appreciate that. Does everything look good this morning for me? Um, I really was upset about last night. I've got to be honest with you. It bothered me a great deal. Okay, so the strand of pearls, we can do an inside circle or an outside circle. This is really a very, very easy um, template to do, and I'm going to show you. Now, you can make a 16 point or a 32 point crosshair reference lines, and we are going to use a tack in the center. That is the key. Now, what I've got here is I have got a 16 point. Okay. So we're going to do 16, and I'm going to show you with the largest size simply how to do a regular strand of pearls. Diane, thank you. She said perfect video and sound. Linda, thank you. Janice, oh, good morning, everyone. Sharon's here too. Brenda, another Michigander. Awesome, awesome. I am so glad everything is okay this morning. We will persevere, won't we? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I want to discuss these lines on the template just a little bit. We've got our center line here, and then we've got a line to the left and to the right of it. Now, we can line this up several different ways, and one is lining our center line up. What you're going to notice here is I've got the R&K embroidery tape. Let me see if I can get that in a little closer. What I want you to see, there we go, got it, is when I put this tape on, I go ahead and I make sure to mark that center line. And the reason being is when I put the tape on, I want to get it as close to possible along the edge of the template and the gate. Okay? For those of you who've got new ones with needle channels, I envy you. Oh, Betty is here. Good morning. And Joan is with us all the way from Alabama. There, a little taste of caffeine for me. So we can line this up on the center, or we can line it up in between. And when I say in between, what I'm talking about is using these two lines here on my reference lines, on my 16 reference lines. Okay, so I think that's the way we're going to go this morning. I'm just going to move things around a little bit here, get you back in focus, back where we want to be. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start on one side. We're going to stitch half of the pearl, and then we're going to come over to the other side and stitch half of the next pearl. What that does is it gives us a connecting line from pearl to pearl. Now we can do it another way, and that is to stitch half of a pearl and start at the top, end at the bottom, and come over here on the bottom part and stitch a half a pearl. Then we're going to twist our template and continue. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do half of it with the connecting line on top, half of it with the connecting line on the bottom. Okay, so I'll start by pulling my bobbin thread up. I want to make sure we've got a good view. I don't have a moderator here this morning, so Linda, good morning. Oh, good morning, Chris. You're here too. Catherine's here from Houston. MW, good morning from Kansas. Oh, it's so good to see you guys here this morning. Okay, here comes that bobbin thread up. We're going to set that back down, and as I said, we're going to go across the top for half of it. Okay, find my foot pedal there, make my little stitch in place. Remember now, this is a curve. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that our stitches are just a little bit shorter. And by leaving those stitches a little bit shorter, they're going to be much smoother. We're going to twist you guys around so you can see better, okay? Now we're going to come right across the top. And even this is a curve. It's not as pronounced as the pearl, but it is a curve all the same. And we're going to stop. Now, this in of itself is really kind of a cool design. And what you could do is come back up here and go again. And I'll show you how that works in a little bit, okay? Now, I'm going to twist my template. I'm going to make sure that I've got these lines lined up on my reference lines. And we're going to do the same exact movement. Okay, and there we have just closed one of our pearls. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the fact that it's a circle you can't get wrong. Okay, there we go. And we're going to stop and we're going to twist that template again. Oh, beautiful. I really, really like this template. And there is such a wide variety of them. So putting them together, you can come up with some of the most beautiful designs. Okay, and we'll stop on that reference line. And we're going to go to the next one. Okay. Suzanne is here. Good morning. Terry, you made it. Good morning. Today looks like we're having much better luck with computer issues. Oh, usually things don't throw me. I pretty much am able to roll with stuff, but I gotta tell you, last night I was pretty frustrated. Oh, goodness. And around we're gonna go again. We're gonna stop. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and finish this circle. And then I'm going to go to the bottom. And in order to do that, it's really very easy. We are going to travel. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here. We're going to finish our circle. Okay, now we've enclosed that pearl. I am now going to backtrack. And we're going to come down and stop on the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this line on my template to stitch over. And up we're going to go. You'll see we're doing the exact same motion. It's just upside down from the first one. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to twist that template again. And we're going to come around. And we're going to come across the bottom again. Now, what if we want to switch back up to the top? Well, that's no problem. What we're going to do to switch back to the top is we're going to move our template again. We're going to finish that pearl. And now we're going to travel back up to the top, and we're going to keep going. You see how this in itself is can be a really great design all by itself. Okay, here we go. And around one more time. And I got off of my template a little bit there because I wasn't paying attention. No big deal. This is a practice piece. This is how we learn, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to do something just a little bit different. I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to go through and make this whole pearl up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come along the bottom. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Now I'm going to turn my template and I'm going to come across and I'm going to come across the top, make that half of a pearl here, move my template again and come across the bottom. Okay, we're going to stop right here. I'm going to move that template. I'm going to come up from the bottom and across the top again. So I'm basically just going every other one. And here we go. Down across the bottom. And this will be the last one I do like this, because I have a lot more that I want to show you guys. Okay, and across that bottom again. And there we go. What do you guys think? Did you think it was quite this versatile? I know when I first started playing with these, I thought to myself, oh yeah, okay, they're good, they're nice. There's a lot of things that we can do, especially if you have more than one size. But here, what we've already done this morning is show you how you can have your circle connecting your pearls on top. You can have the circle on the bottom. You can switch between the bottom and the top, or you cannot finish your pearls at all and end up. I don't even know what this shape is, but it's kind of a cool shape. I like it. What do you guys think? Yeah, Catherine, good morning. And you know what? It is amazing what it can do. And there's so much more we have to cover. Lois is here from Delaware. Terry figured it out. String of pearls. Yes, strand of pearls. And it comes in two sizes. My suggestion, get them both. Okay. Kim is here this morning. Hi, Kim. Jan, you made it back. So nice to see you. Lois is here. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm so okay, Terry says she's late in getting here and asked which templates we're using this morning. We are using the 1-inch strand of pearls, but I did pull out my 1/2 inch as well. Okay, so here is one thing. Now I want to go over another with you all. Oh, I think that's a good size. Okay, so this is going to be my 7.5. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of lining up my two reference lines on these diagonal, they're diagonal, but it's not like a 45-degree diagonal. I'm going to go ahead and put that center line on my reference line this time. What's going to happen? It's going. Thank you, Lois. It's always nice to get new ideas for using templates that I have used. And Susan said that would be fun to add something in the empty space. And Susan, you are so right. You could do a swirl. You could do a little micro stippling, maybe. There's a lot of things that we can do. We are only limited by our imagination. I know you guys probably get tired of hearing me say that, but it's the truth. Okay, there we go. A little bit of sustenance for me. Now, we're using a 7.5 inch on this one. So what is going to happen with our pearls? Where do you think we're going to be? Do you think we're going to actually be touching each other? Or let's get it over here. Or are we going to have a little space here? Let's find out, okay? Let's find out. I'm going to lift that up. Pull that out. Okay, there we go. Couple stitches in place. Going to keep my stitches fairly short. Going to cut off this excess thread, get it out of our way, and on we go. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to stop. Now I'm going to simply rotate, and here we go again. You see how perfect these circles are? I think that is just the coolest thing ever. After how many years of free motion stitching, there's no way I can make a circle free motion that good. There. Okay, guys, I have to show you this. This just came to mind, okay? I'm going to lift this up, and I am going to clip this thread off, because as I am doing this, does anybody else see what I see right here in this design? Patsy, yes, you do need this. You do need it. Lynette's here from Australia. Welcome, Annette. Okay, I don't know if anybody sees this. Linda got it. She sees the same thing, Terry, too. I am seeing, yeah, Susie, I understand free motion is a lot of people's nemesis. It just takes a lot of practice. Eyeglasses. And that's the same thing I'm seeing, is a pair of eyeglasses. Isn't that funny? I never noticed that before. Okay, so let's put her back on and get her going again. Oh my goodness, I'm squirreling. Okay. But that's okay. Squirreling is good first thing in the morning, right? That's good any time of day. Who are we kidding? And being born on Natural Squirrel Day, it comes natural to me. And yes, there is such a thing. I couldn't believe it myself, but there is, and it's on the day that I was born. So for me to squirrel comes natural. Okay, so now what I want to show you is, you see how easy it was to put that template back on and get yet another pretty perfect circle in there. There we go. Look at that. Nobody would ever know that I had that template off and put it back on again. Okay. So what I want to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop. I'm going to come, whoops, there we go. Okay. So now we've got a true four-eyed guy with his glasses. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to go ahead and clip my threads. And chances are real good I'm going to need to change that bobbin thread. Now this is a 7.5. I'm going to flip this over to a 6.5 because I love echoing. Okay. And this is the perfect template to echo with, believe it or not. Didn't really think so when I tried this. It was just kind of an experiment, but it worked and I was so pleased with it. Okay, here we go. Come on. Oh, come on. There we go. I knew you could do it, little thread. I knew you could. Okay, there. And back down. Now, again, I'm following the same process that I did on the 7.5. Kathy, oh, Lynette is here. Good morning. Nancy Beltlocker is here. Marcy is here. Kathy says, why do I get distracted by housework when there are so many pleasurable things there are to do? I get you I feel it. You know, this to me is more than a hobby. It's a passion. And the housework, It'll wait. I don't worry about it too much. I've got Ken well trained. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do an echo. And it's just going to be a little bit different than most echoes we do, but it's going to look awesome. Okay, now again, this first one was a 7.5 inch, and now I'm putting a 6.5 inch on. And off we go. And you can just keep on going with this echoing. Go down to a 5.5 inch and a 4.5 inch. And I think that it would look so cool that way. And we're going to go and around, and we're going to stop right there. And again, I am using my center line here. Okay. And these are almost touching. I didn't have that lined up just perfectly, and those two did touch, but you know what? It's okay. And there we go. These are touching as well. So we're going to come here and we're going to stop. Okay. Now we're going to put one more line of echoing in, because this can really bring a lot of dimension to your quilting. Here, get the right one. You'll see how this is happening. So this is a 6.5. I've done the 7.5, the 6.5. Now we're going to look for the 5.5, and there it is. And I'm going to go ahead and put my pen. This is important to note, okay? I have a house. Susie, I am so jealous of you. Susie has a house cleaner. I think we should borrow her. What do you say, guys? We should borrow Susie's house cleaner. Okay, so what I want you to notice here is that this line right here culminates at this pinpoint, where this line here culminates at this one. So what you're looking at is this pin belongs to this side of the template. Okay, this pin belongs to this side of the template. And that is an important thing to note, because if we put this pin on this side, what would happen? I think we'd have a funny looking overlapping circles or pearls. We can try that just out of curiosity to see what exactly does happen. And we will do that. Okay, here we go. This is line number 3 of our echoing. I'm going to go ahead, put that down, pull that bobbin thread up. At least I think I'm going to. There it is. Okay. Oh, that sure is pulling hard this morning. Not really sure why. Maybe it's a little too early for the bobbin. Okay, down we're going to go. And again, because the first two I lined up with the center line, I'm going to line this up with the center line. And in order to just help me along, I've gone ahead and I have drawn a line to extend that vertical center. Okay, here we go. Let's do one more echo. Now you'll see that this one is coming up a little bit higher. So it's cutting this part off. So would I use this on a real quilt square? I probably would not. Okay, but we do have another one Oops, that we certainly can use that on. Okay, here we go. Wait a second. Ah, I almost lined up on the wrong line there, guys. And you're going to see that this one is going to overlap. And that's okay too. It looks nice. I think, would I use this? Probably not. Probably not. Okay, there we go. And I got a little cattywampus there. I'm not going to worry about it. But I think it's getting a little too busy here. What do you guys think? There we go. And there we go. Okay. A little too much. So I'm thinking 1 echo, good. 2 echoes, not so much. Hi, Brenda from North Carolina. Janice is here from Mass. Oh, Brenda, thank you. Brenda says, I always make it look easy. Good morning, Patsy. Catherine is here too. Okay, yeah, you know what? You know, people say, oh, you make it look easy. What they don't see is the hours and hours and hours of practice I put in before I come on and make it look easy. Truthfully, guys, I do practice a lot. Okay. And I think practicing is what will make you successful. I really do believe that. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is this is 1 inch down here. From the tip of this to the bottom of this pearl is 1 inch. So I'm going to start with, I think we're going to start with, let's see if we can do the 9.5 inch. It's going to have to be the 8.5 inch, which is fine. And I don't think I cut my bobbin thread here. So we're going to take care of that. Okay, so we're going to start with the 8.5 inch. And I'm going to go ahead and do this by using my diagonal lines. And we're going to just go in and we're going to put a couple. Okay, something weird is going on with this here, guys. I'm not really sure what. Oh, I see. I didn't cut it. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. No worries. We'll just do this again. I'm accustomed to doing things over again. Okay, we're going to come on this one. There we go. Right here. Pull that bobbin thread up now. Okay, that's better. Put it down. Now this time, this time I'm going to come around the top, okay? And I'm going to go ahead. Remember, don't take time. Don't waste time. I call it wasting time by trying to tie off and bury practice, threads on your practice pieces. These are just for our own personal use. These aren't going to go anywhere. All righty, here we go. I'm going to get a second full rotation in. And going to do a third. And I think we'll do one more. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Now. Okay, so that's an 8.5 inch, which means from this side, if it were over on that side, total would be 8.5 inches. Okay, or it's going to be 4.25 inches from the pin to the outside here. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut that thread. And so now what I want to do is I want to come out to here. Okay, and I want to put another strand of pearls. We're not going to echo like this. We're going to stack them instead. So 8.5 inch. Let's start experimenting here. 5.5, too small. Too small. And the reason I know it's too small is because when I put this down, you'll see I have space between here and the inside of my template. And don't forget, we have to add another 1/4 inch to that. So 5.5, way too small. Let's try a 6.5. Okay, there's 4 and 9. All I've got to do is find my 6.5, and I know I've got one. It's right here. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the pin. Now, it looks... Oh, Rushing's here. Good morning. Good morning. I've watched for an hour at you. Looks like jelly beans, Brenda said, from North Carolina. And Janice is here from Mass. So I think I already touched on that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spacing gauge and I'm going to look at that. And it looks really close to 1/4 inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoosh a little. Okay, smoosh is my real technical term, because what I want is I want this 6.5 to run right along the bottom of my 8.5. Now, we can do it that way, and I will do a couple that way, but we can also flip the side that we're traveling on and come across the bottom. So let's see how we do. I'm just going to do some smooshing here. I know you guys love my technical terms. Oh, goodness. Okay, in we go. There, we got it. Put my needle down. Take my first stitch in place. And we're going to come around. And it's perfect. And that's exactly what I'm looking for, guys. I'm looking to stack these, not echo them this time. Okay. So we needed to go from an 8-inch to 8.5 inch to a 6.5 inch. And everything works out. So we're going to go ahead and do one more. There we go. I love it when a plan comes to fruition. And we're going to stop right there. And we're going to twist again. Every time I say that, I think about Chubby Checker. Don't ask why. And you're going to see how nice and close these come together. Make sure that needle is down. Sometimes I'm a little lackadaisical with that, and I find myself getting in trouble, and you don't want to do that. There we go. Absolutely perfect, eh? Love it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to clip those threads. So if we went from 8.5 to 6.5, we probably would need the 4.5. So let's give it a shot, okay? Anybody up for that? Should we go for it? Good morning from Oklahoma, Rushing says. Awesome. So here's my 4.5. I'm going to load it onto the pin. I'm going to come here. Okay. 4.5, not even close, is it? Okay. So this is the 4.5 is the smallest we can go. So we're not, well, maybe if I put it on the right side, it wouldn't be a problem, right, guys? 4.5 will work. Okay. So here we go. And I really do want to do this because I want you to see how cool. If you have a mandala or um, a round design on a quilt, this would be a great way to quilt it. With keeping with the round theme, it's just going to really work well. Okay, and around we're gonna go. Now these guys are going to be a little closer together. Remember, every time you go down on the size of templates, your pearls will become closer. And I'm not positive. We're going to find out together here whether these are going to overlap or not. And I'm talking overlapping horizontally, not vertically. We know we're good on the vertical. Linda, you're right. Wrong side. Suzanne is gardening while she's listening to us. Well, that is what I call multitasking. That is fantastic. My garden, not so much this year. Okay, so we're going to go around, and that works out perfect. And I do believe that we're going to end up overlapping on this, but that's okay. It's all part of the design. Okay, here we go. Yep, a little overlapping. And I think you know what I did here, guys? I went on the wrong circle or on the wrong line. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and fix it by going like this. It's just practice anyway, right? And that is that. So this is stacking. This is stacking them. And you know, I really like that. I think it can be very useful in a lot of different applications, and it looks very, very nice. What do you think of the stacking? Yes, Linda, you're right. I went on the wrong side. That's okay. Everybody knows I make mistakes. I'm fine with that. Okay, so what I wanted to show you next, and we do have enough time to do that, is this is just a little bonus section because these are some of the things that we can do. And what I want to show you is we're going to take a look at what we did last night. And we're going to see if, in fact, and this is a 24 point crosshair, and I'm really, there we go. Just need to get that out of the way. This is the one we worked on last night, and I am going to finish that up. This was done with the Spin and Echo 12, just so y'all know. Okay. And when I keep my tacks, what I do is I keep them, whoops, just dropped a couple too. I keep them just in this little container here. And in order not to get poked whenever I go into the container, I keep my little tacks covered. Because anybody who knows me knows I'm a klutz. And if anybody's going to poke themselves or cut themselves or do something stupid, it's going to be me because that's just how I work. Okay. I'm so glad you guys like it. And let's put this pin in from the back. And it should come perfect out the center. Okay. So What we're going to do on this one is we're going to just make some pearls along the outside. And we're going to do that in 2 sizes. So what I want to do here is I want to make, I'm going to use my 11.5 inch to start with. Okay. And I want to make my circle on the bottom. So I'm going to start at the top. Now, you're going to notice that these reference lines don't match up on the outside. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to use the inside, okay? And I'm going to determine, and I'm pretty sure this will work. Pretty sure, but not positive, okay? Just so you all know, because this is a 24 line crosshair. Okay. So what I'm going to use though is overall, I'm kind of going to ignore the lines. I'm only going to use this center one. And we're going to find out together if this is going to work or not, okay? So take my stitch in place, off we go. And this is my 1-inch pearl. Going to come all the way over here. And we're going to stop when we hit this reference line on the template. Make sure that needle is down. My machine does not have a needle up, needle down function. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over. Okay, this is interesting. It's kind of what I thought was going to happen. Our lines are not going to line up here. Okay, our reference lines and our lines on our template are not going to line up. Does that matter? Absolutely not. Okay, and the reason that I'm saying that is because we're going to stitch from this reference line on the template, and we're going to come up and around, and we're going to stop at this reference line on the template. So as long as we have those reference lines worked out, we don't have to worry about the reference lines we've drawn on. Okay, does that make sense? Good morning, Jean from Mount Vernon, Washington. Beautiful part of the world out there. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and do another rotation. And here we're going to finish up that first pearl. We're going to come around and start our second. And we're going to stop when we hit our reference line on our template. We're ignoring the reference lines on our fabric. Okay, now we're going to twist. Our chubby checker moment. And around we're going to go. And you guys are seeing this as I am experimenting with it first time. Okay, I've not done this before. So if it works, I'm going to be ecstatic. If not, you know what? It's not the end of the world. Definitely not the end of the world. Okay, we're going to do a couple more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our 1/2-inch pearl in with it. Okay, line that up. Again, I'm using my template. I am not using the reference lines on my quilt square. There we go. Guys, I'm really loving this set of templates. I really am. They turned out to be more versatile than I thought they would be and more fun to stitch than I actually anticipated. Okay. There we go. That's as far as I'm going to go. I'll come back and finish it later, more than likely. This one might be a keeper. Most of these squares, to be honest with you, I don't keep. But every once in a while, I come up with one that I really like. And what I like to do then is go ahead and bind it for a sample square when we do shows and trunk shows and different things. So now what I am doing is I am pulling out my 1/2-inch pearls. What you're going to see is the Strand of Pearls 1/2-inch are exactly the same as far as the makeup. The difference is the size of this template portion right there. So I did that at 11.5. So where is my 11.5? There it is. I do believe this is going to be the way I'm going to need to do this. Yep, I do believe I'm correct. Alrighty. So I am going to line this up. Yeah, that's the key. Where do I line this up? I line this up right here, don't I? I do believe so. Okay, so I'm lining up this reference line on my template with the starting point on my 1-inch pearl. Okay, let's make sure this is going to work, guys. Oh gosh, I hope so. It's going to be so cool if it does. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to take my spacing gauge. Oh, look at that. It's 1/4 inch, which is exactly what we want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and take 1 stitch in place. We're going to come around and it's going to travel along our previous line of stitching. Isn't that cool? Now we're going to come around and we're going to stop halfway. Let's go ahead and get these out of the way. Has anyone tried putting the connecting line on the other side closer center? Yes, Diane, I have. Truthfully, it didn't work out so good. Okay, just so you know. Can it be worked out? It probably can. I just probably didn't take enough time to really work it. Okay, so here we go. Just going to move that a little bit. So what I'm finding here is when I left the, I got to make sure my needle's down here. When I left the template where I had it, you'll see that the pearl came off to the side a little bit. Whoops, right there. And where I want that pearl is to end up right in the center. So what we need to do is adjust by putting this template in the center of the previous pearl. And let's go ahead and do that. Stay on track here. And I'm going to stop at the center. And I'm going to rotate to start at the center. Okay, and around we're going to go. And we're going to keep going. Okay, when I come close, I'm just going to do any adjustment if I have to. On this one, it looks like it's perfectly placed, so I don't really need to do any adjustment. So we're going to come down, stop at halfway. Oh my goodness, somebody just woke up. Okay, and then we're going to come around and close that pearl up. Yeah, that works, doesn't it? Loving it, loving it. Okay, I'm going to make any adjustment that I need to make. Stop halfway. And we're going to come and do that one more time. And if you want to be sure, you can always keep checking with that spacing gauge. And there we go. And around we're going to go. And halfway again. Needle down. That's one thing that I always have to be cautious of. I'm really kind of envious when I see you guys with the fancy machines and the needle up, needle down position and all that fun stuff. And here I am with my good old Singer 301. There we go. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop. And we're going to take a look at what we've done here. Okay. What do you guys think? I like that. A pearl inside of a pearl. Thank you, Susie. Closer to the center. Diane, yes, we can put the connecting line on closer to the center, and I will show you exactly how that's done, okay? I'm going to bring back my other... Well, yeah, I'll bring back the other square here. Get that one out of the way. And to do that is quite easy, Diane. Okay? Get those out of the way. And I'm going to need one that's a little closer. That one looks good. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So what we're going to do, instead of to put the line up here, we're going to start, come around, stitch, and stop and move. If we want the connecting line on the bottom, we're going to start here. We're going to stitch around, going to come up here and stop, and then we're going to twist our template. And let me show you how that's done, okay? Thank you, Susie. All righty. I'm going to line up. And this time I'm going to go ahead and line up with those diagonal lines on my reference lines. There we go. I'm using the 8.5 this time. Something's getting me held up here. What is it? Okay, my goodness, I'm sorry. Something's outside that she's concerned about. I have not closed the house up yet this morning. Okay, here we go. I'm going to hold those threads back. Tip, come on. Get your ball, baby. Get your ball. Take one stitch in place, or two. It's okay. We're going to come around. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to clip that off. And we're going to come up and stop at the top this time. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn it. We're going to finish this pearl and make the next half pearl. And here we go. Stop at the reference line. We're going to twist our template. Our chubby checker moment here. Going to make our half a pearl. And we're going to make one more rotation here, okay? There we go. And that is how we are going to make our lines connect on the bottom instead of the top. Isn't that cool? Like I said, the more I use this, the more I fall in love with it, and the more uses I see for it. Um, I really, really enjoy this one. I thought, thank you, Diane. Um, Good morning, Judy from Greenleaf, Wisconsin. Um, I hope you consider getting this set. And my suggestion to you would be to get the 1/2 inch and the 1 inch templates both. Because as you see, when you get the 1/2 inch along with the 1 inch, you are not just doubling your value and the ability to do things, but you're probably more like quadrupling it, you know? Oh, Donna, I'm so sorry. Last night we had problems with our internet here too. And again, I profusely apologize for that. Um, anyway, I hope that you find value in what I've done here this morning. What I would like to see you do is subscribe, like, and share the video. Please feel free to go to 906 Quilting on YouTube and subscribe there as well. You will see some videos there that are not on So Steady. That's my personal page. And please, if you need to get in touch with me, go to SoSteady.com, education tab, instructors. You find my mug there and all my contact information. Please feel free to use that with any questions you have. I'm always willing to spend time with anybody who needs a little help. Okay, this is what I do. This is what I love to do, and if I can't answer your call or your text immediately or your email, I will get back to you as soon as possible. So I hope you've enjoyed today's live, and I look forward to next week. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do next week, so it'll be a bit of a surprise, but watch the So Steady Education site because it will be on there. And until we meet again, let's quilt.